Hey guys, so I wasn't really planning on making a video for this setup because it's very customized to my playstyle, but just generally playing it in open world Sofa, Vivek, and no CPPGs, I've had a lot of people ask me what am I running because it's quite a weird setup. I don't think many of them have seen a setup like this before, and yeah, I mean it's quite typical. If you know me, it's quite a typical setup that I will run, so quite unorthodox, strange. And yeah, I mean it's not a dueling setup by any means. You can try dueling on it, but you probably will get wiped because of how these meta setups of bleeds and all that stuff work. And where you can handle the bleeds, you have to in open world, as a lot of people are running them in those 1v1s where it's a lot more intense, and you can't line of sight, which is what this build excels at doing. You will get well, clapped, but I mean you can against a good player, but you can still duel on it. I'm not saying you can't. Now, yes, I'll get into the sets first off. We're using Bloodspawn, not really an explanation into why. Energy Guardian works too. I'll get onto why Energy Guardian is very strong in this setup in a minute. Sentinel works, which is not a very popular set. This one here. Yeah, it's getting a buff next patch. I haven't tested it yet on the PTS, but I plan on doing it, and it can work very nicely. Pirate Skeleton, Engine Guardian, as I said, Troll King, Vivicun, especially if you're in a stacked up tower or choke point and they walk into it and it procs on time. The Maim and Defile is very nice, it makes you very tanky in medium armor, and it gives you health, which is very nice. Then, yeah, I mean, Villager Sleen, anything really works in it, even Scoria or Zahn, if you Zahn if you want to be a lad, and just clutch, more so than others sets. But yeah, Scoria procs your Hurricane, it's not always high uptime on it, but it still works, probably better in no CP than CP. Then we've got Bone Pirate, pretty bog standard Stambit setup, build, sets, sorry, max dam, recovery, damage and recovery, yep, that's all we really need. I mean, this is the only place we get recovery from, apart from Media Armor and Dark Deal from this setup. So we've got 3 pieces here, 4 pieces, sorry, all in pen. This is all in pen too, and then we've got Transmutation. Transmutation, yes, a lot of people will be like, why are you running a mag set on this character? You're Stamsork and medium armor. But I like my streaks, I like to keep Surge up high a lot. It will keep you alive, it's what can clutch you through those big fights, because of problem of Hurricane, your damage, and that heal is so nice. And especially Dark Deal and Streak, and with some of the sets and the snares, etc., you do need to, and speed, you have lost a lot, especially your speed, so having the mag recovery puts you at 875 without any buffs, which is really nice. With continuous, that goes up to over 1k, and a tripod, you're looking at like almost 1.2k mag recovery, which is pretty sick. Then on the jewellery, we have 1 protective, weapon damage, bone pirate, gold, and 2 rings of transmutation. Gold. If you don't have gold transmutation, go for robust, weapon damage still, and if you don't have Somersets, you can't change these, go for any colour, well, purple or gold, robust, and run all 3 weapon damage, and then swap your Mundus over to the Lord, I think it is, that gives physical spell resistances. You'll be a bit less damage, maybe about 300-ish damage, weapon damage, but you have a higher max stam, which sort of evens out, and you have high resistances, maybe about 1k more from the ritual, not ritual, the Mundus, sorry. Then we have transmutation on the back bar, health here, everything else is tri-stat, but this is healthy for a reason. I will go into that when I get to skills. And then we've got infused weapon damage glyph, pretty bog standard, quite nice uptime. And then we've got Asylum here, and the poison we're using is Minor Maim and Minor Brutality. Minor Brutality got buffed to 10% in my patch, and I would rather have a 10% damage buff to my weapon damage, especially in medium armor, and trying to push high weapon damage over a glyph or a double dot poison, for instance, as that only affects one person, and this affects everything I do while it's up, which I personally prefer. You can swap out, it's really preference based. Then So, I mean, if you also don't want to run the Asylum two-hander, or you don't have it, a two-hander agility, a weapon I've been trying to get but unsuccessfully haven't yet is the Black Rose Perfected. For that pen is very nice. It's the only one-piece pen in the game. You can also run Maelstrom, you can run Masters, and I'll show you where you can swap some skills around to fit those in now. So we've got Dark Deal, Vigor, Reverse Slice, Crushing Weapon, Forward Momentum, and Dawnbreaker. This build, I love Crushing Weapon, it's really nice, it's very useful. Like, the base damage of this skill is higher than Heroic Slash, but cheaper. So Heroic Slash is 8.4 with 2.5k stam cost, and this is 1.9 with 8.7, so higher. And it's almost as cheap as Ransack, but you also, if you don't use the skill after 2 seconds of using it, you get refunded, which is very nice indeed, because it means you can just keep it up when you're kiting and get stam back. If you're using Engine Guardian, it does proc Engine Guardian, which is also very nice. And something they pointed out in the patch notes is the skill sometimes will give you back the stam that is the base skill cost, so that's without your medium armor reduced cost and your Psijic reduced cost, wherever that is here. Onto Psijic, you only need to get level 5 for this. I mean, because you're not channeling it as such as you would with Meditate or in the other skills, you don't get major protection. And while the barrier to get the 2.5k shield can be nice, is 5k, 2.5k when you get it to max level, because you can crit shields now and they have pen and they scale of resistances, it's not that great, and also you'll generally be blocking on your sword and board bar. Now, if you want to swap off, again, if you don't have Somerset, you want to swap off the D-Swing here, you can. It's the only other skill you can really swap this off for. Then you can also swap off Berserker Strike into Dawnbreaker, and if you're doing that, you might then generally want to swap to Reverse Slice to Executioner. On my AD Stamsork, that's the sort of combo I use with Berserker Strike and Executioner instead of Reverse Slice and Dawnbreaker. It's just a general thing, I just prefer it generally. AD Pugs, and you're fighting on as I'm an EP on this Stamsork, my AD Stamsork, EP generally don't pack as tightly, and the DC generally do whatever DC want. They're small scalers, you know, the 24 mans. Yeah, but AD, they stack together, you can choke them around corners quite nicely, and just Dawnbreaker Reverse Slice, it can set up some nice chain combos, which is very nice. So yes, on to the back bar is Streak. You can use Ball of Lightning, but I prefer the AoE stun as a preference. Yes, I mean, I'm running an Absorb here, so you could swap it around, but I will get onto why I like this in a minute. Surge must keep you alive. I see Stamsorks running it and don't really understand why not. It's so good, especially if you're not in heavy armor. You've got medium armor, you're getting high crit. It's no brainer. Reverb, really reliable CC, and Major Defile, which is very nice for tanks and healing builds and just anything really. You don't have any dots, you don't have any. It's your main debuff to help you take out targets. Hurricane, I mean, everyone knows why this is good. Damage gets, as you leave it on, it gets higher. The damage, you get minor speed, and you get resistances. No brainer really. This is the flex spot of the build. Here you can run Heroic or Ransack. You want the debuff and ult gen. You can also swap this to Rally and put Shuffle here. If you want to run D-Swing as well as, you can also move Dark Deal to the back and run Trap, D-Swing, or if you want to run VMA two-hander or Master two-hander, then you will swap off Dark Deal to the back for this Absorb and run Brawler or Carve. Both are nice. Or Stampede. I mean, Stampede is always better, I feel, because of the snare, sorry, and with the speed nerf, lets you lock down opponents a lot faster. You can also swap to Trap here, or Expert Hunter. You don't use crit pots. Alternatively, Caltrops can be quite nice, especially in choke point areas. Put it on the back bar, works nicely. Or what you can do is, I do my AD a lot, is I don't have it leveled on this character because I never really needed it, but Rune Prism, you've got the mag sustain to hold it, and it can go through block. which is quite nice versus mag DKs, mag plas, and just generally other block builds. Now, if you want to run a dual wield setup, instead you could run dual wield transmutation. I recommend dual wield transmutation daggers or axes. Then you swap this to rending, and you swap this to blade cloak or rune prison here, and or you can then run shuffle and sort of fort rally here. But I mean, dual wield will give you more healing over time due to the higher chance of crit. Of course, you've got more damage, so you've got the high chance of critting to get more surge procs. But of course, you won't have a CC as much because you lose this. But streak can be used, but you might want to run rune prison there as well. So like rending, rune prison, yeah, pretty bog standard. Now, I was going to why crushing weapon is quite nice, because you can combo it like this. So you might want to, you can run in, put your weapon glyph, and then light attack this, and that's just, it's in one combo, and then you can get into the reverse light chains, and set it off. Also, crushing weapon is very nice because it can proc on your guardian ray kiting like this, use every 2 seconds, you get the stand back, and you then can also proc engine because you're using skill for free. Also, when you get these orbs around you, I mean, the damage buff, the damage from them isn't that high, as you saw, 1.9 on the dummy, but pools might blaze out stealth. If they're in sneak, it'll go towards them, or anyone in sneak, and a lot of people also generally roll dodge this. They don't know what it does, they just see an orb flying towards them, maybe they think it's slowed, I mean it's a different colour, I'm not really sure, but people roll dodge it, and that's just how we break down their stand pool, which is very nice. Backbar ulti, sorry, sword and board ult. If you're playing with a group mode, run absorb field or suppression field. Atro can be really nice if you're stuck open world, and you want something to LOS. Amount of orb if you're duoing. Amount of times if my mate gets killed, I'll drop the Atro, stand inside it, and res. Also, the Atro is an AoE CC and gives your friend Major Berserk, of course. So I also run on my AD, but haven't been bothered to do it on EP. Is to get undo, very nice for kiting and general play. Yes. Anything else? CPs. CPs are mostly preference. I have a lot on sprinter, for example, because I like to sprint. Don't have to bash because I'm not doing bash blocks. I mean, the crushing weapon is very weird. It can feel clunky at times. It's also very annoying when the light attacks don't register in the lag, so you're not actually doing any damage because crushing weapon doesn't do damage unless you hit them with a light attack. High warlord cost. I like to sprint on medium armor, very nice. Mooncalf, tenacity, this is my standard for those who are footy free. Befoul, you can just pump this up as much as you want or less. I like to roll dodge a lot, and block is also quite important. Blessed there, 56. What I did do in some patches when I wasn't running as high mag recovery is running, I think it's 72 or 71 in here, sorry 76 in Blessed to unlock the this passive. So that'd be Streak, it's basically Unchained for Magicka, so it'd be Streak, Dark Deal, Surge. Really nice for helping sustain on those skills. You want to run lower mag recovery. And then you just take out of your damage split over here and here. 19 here because we're doing light attacks on our main weapon, so yes. Master Arms, everything's direct apart from Hurricane, so we're going to pump that up. Precise Strikes, Firma, you can puff up, this buffs your Hurricane, your Dawnbreaker Dot. It's really preference, like most CPs, but yep, this is what I've got. I'm no way min-maxing this stuff. Ironclad, Resistance, these ones, a lot of dots going around, so that's why I've got this pumped up. And 19 in quick recovery. So yeah, I'll now get to buff stats, so quick pop. .8k as you can see there. 2.9k stand recovery, goes up to 2.2k ish with a Daedric summoning skill on, and if you've got continuous it'll go up even more, so you're looking at about, with continuous, 500-600 health recovery ish. I mean, I'm not an orc, I'm a red guard, because I just generally prefer it for easier sustain and more sustain. So yes, that goes up to 2.3k, 4k, 2.5k I think, with continuous and Daedric on. mag recovery goes up to 1k with continuous and 1.2k with tripod, but because we've got such high mag recovery, we don't generally need the tripod. We're using Warrior Mundus. As I said, you can swap this off. If you're an orc, maybe next patch you might want to run Serpent instead, or something else. I'm not really sure how it's going to work. I'll need to do some testing. Yes, now onto how to proc transmutation. We're doing a health glyph here. So if you use Rally or Vigor, either, bar swap back, there we go. Transmutation proc, 4.1k impen rating on that bar, 4.3k on this bar, and then with Hurricane we have 2.2, 2.1k, which plus just about 7k, 6k sorry, and Bloodspawn, we're looking at 28k, 27k resistances, which is still quite nice in medium armor. You can bump up other ways, but I mean I just prefer this way. You could run more protective, etc, etc. But as I said, this is just a preference to me. You could also run more well fitted, which is what I was planning on doing. But then as I start going back to medium armor on Stamp Sorg, where like Stamplar I'm used to it, where you can cleanse dots, etc. But medium armor where you've got no cleanse, on Stamp Sorg, you've just got the speed. You already get the speed from reduced cost, and your sustain is also already in the high. So that's what I've just kept with the impen. So yes, in no CP this goes to about, you've got the base 1.8k impen rating, and with the transmutation you go up to just about 3k, 3.2, 3.3k with your sword and board, because you've got impen on there. You can run something else, maybe well fitted or sturdy. It's really preference, but yes, and yeah, that's it guys. See you next time.